What's up guys, and welcome to Let's Play Doom 3 BFG. So the first video here is going to be sort of a preview for the actual Lost Mission LP, which is going to be the main part of the game I'm going to be recording, but I figured I would go ahead and do a little version comparison video between the original Xbox version that you're seeing now, the main campaign of Doom 3, and the BFG edition on the Xbox 360. And the reason for this is, much like the other version comparisons I've done, there is more to it than just a graphical change, and I'll go into detail in the ways that that is implemented as they are revealed. So, let's put it this way. Basically, the original Xbox version, which came out after the original PC version, is sort of like the theatrical cut, and the original PC version is the director's cut. So the BFG edition for the 360 and PS3 follows the original PC's director's cut format. And you'll see what I mean by that when we actually get to some parts that were cut out in this version and are still remain in the BFG edition. So it's not so much that BFG edition adds things into it, so much as this version took things out. And at least for the main campaign of Doom 3. BFG edition includes the Doom 3 campaign, the Resurrection of Evil campaign, the new Lost Mission campaign, as well as the Xbox Live Arcade versions of Doom 1 and 2 on the disc, which means that they are playable. You don't have to pay for them separate, and you can delete them off your hard drive because they're not taking up hard drive space anymore. That being said, it's a port of those two games that you're actually playing on the PS3 version. It's just a port of the Xbox Live Arcade versions, which do have their own online and everything on their own online servers. But the achievement pool for BFG Edition is this is just the opening of the game here. The achievement pool for the BFG Edition only has 600 gamer score going to BFG Edition itself, and the other 400 go to the classic Doom games separately. The 200 points for Doom, the 200 points for Doom 2. Now, as you can see right here, this is still in the cutscene right here. The game is kind of skipping around on its own. But in the original director's cut, so to speak, the BFG Edition, this will all be playable right here, as we'll see. But on the PS3 version, on the other hand, all of the trophies for BFG Edition are pulled together. So all the what would have been trophies for Doom 1 and 2 are kept within BFG Edition. So it's still considered one game. So here's the loading screen here, which I'm going to take the liberty of editing. The loading screens are roughly the same length in each version, which is kind of a letdown, but they are a little bit faster in BFG Edition, and a little less frequent as well, because the game can load a lot easier. So now we're in control of the gameplay, another brief cutscene here.
I'll have it sent up your quarters.
One of the major differences that was added in the BFG edition was better frame rates and better camera control, and we'll notice that when we actually get around to showing the BFG edition. How I'm gonna do this video is I'm gonna show one clip of one segment of the game in this first level here, and then cut back, cut to the other version, then show another clip, then cut to the other version, and show the same clip twice until we've gone through almost the entire of the first level. So this is where we get our PDA here in the Xbox version, and you can see what the interface looks like and everything. And you pull it out with the Y button. Okay, so here's the intro in BFG edition right here. Pretty much the same. We don't get that little id Software presents Doom 3 thing there, but we do get the text crawl is a little bit different, a little bit more high detail, and the text crawl sound effect there is taken from Rage. So this game has a lot of post-Rage touches in it. That being the most notable is that text crawl sound effect, which is also in the menus and everything. So another loading screen there. As you can see, the loading screens look a lot different. And the nice thing about the loading screens in BFG Edition is they actually give you a lot of really helpful tips that you already know, of course, because you played the original, but you wouldn't know if you were playing this game for the first time, and they're actually really nice to know. So I greatly appreciate that. But as I was saying about the classic Doom games on the PS3 version, what they decided to do, I still haven't checked this out yet. This is still one of the versions of Doom I don't have yet, even though I did get a PS3 recently. They released wow, yeah, look at those graphical changes. That's some nice HD graphics and anti-aliasing there. But which is the main improvement, and also the high frame rates, as you can see. So yeah, this BFG edition looks a lot better. That's the most noticeable change, but it's a lot deeper than that. Like I was saying, they released for the PS3 the Doom Complete Classic collection as a downloadable game, which has Doom 1 and 2 in addition to having Master Levels and Final Doom, which Master Levels and Final Doom are not playable on the Xbox Live Arcade version. So I wondered if they did that because the BFG Edition's versions of Doom 1 and 2 were lacking in some way, or they just wanted to give the PS3 version some kind of exclusivity. Another nice detail they did here is they made Counselor Swan's glasses a little bit more translucent, so you can actually see his eyes through there. Yeah, there's some nice detail in these character models here. This really is a remarkable game engine, and now it's getting the justice it deserves. So, as you can see here in the BFG edition, as faithful to the original PC edition, we can now walk around and at the beginning here, and it's interactive. We can go and talk to all the NPCs and all that. And this part right here is also in gameplay. Another thing you'll notice is our character moves a lot more fluently, and the camera movement is spectacularly better, which is probably the best part about this game, and what makes all the combat flow much better is the fact that our camera movement is improved. So. But I'm curious to check out the Doom Complete Classic on PSN, just because I'm curious if it actually is a high graphical version of Final Doom and Master Levels, much like the Xbox Live Arcade version, or if it's just a port of the original PS1 versions as one game, which I already have. I already have the PS1 versions, and the PS1 versions did have Doom 2, Master Levels, and Final Doom as well. So
things we need to take care of first.
Anyway, here's the same scene from earlier. He's going to give us our PDA.
You'll need this to access all secure areas.
Everything flows a lot better from the enhanced frame rates.
It'll download directly. It's important, so don't lose
but the interface is a lot different as well. As you can see, the health and ammo thing is the same. There's a visible ammo counter all the time in BFG Edition, which in the original version of Doom 3, it was only visible if the gun did not have a visible ammo counter on itself, like the shotgun does not. The pistol does not. The machine gun and the chain gun, however, do. Swapping back to the original version here. Now we're down in the dungeon, and this famous Marine is voiced by Stephen J. Bloom, much like many other characters in LPs I've done, as I'm going to... You know what, when I do Bulletstorm, I'm just going to do a list, because there's so many of them at this point. So, here we go. Here we can now pull our weapons out. We have our fist, and we get the pistol, which is the basic starting weapon. And here's our flashlight. In the original, one of the most infamous aspects about Doom 3, as all of you know, because it's an incredibly popular game, and this was ridiculed and commented on several times throughout the years, is the issue of the flashlight. You can only have the flashlight out by itself. You cannot have the gun and the flashlight out at the same time in the original version. But in BFG Edition, they decided they would fix that, or rather just change that for the better. And I have the brightness turned up really high on BFG Edition as well, so I wouldn't need the flashlight as much, although you still do need it in some parts. And you can't edit the brightness at all in the original Xbox version of Doom 3, which is one of the reasons I never recorded it, because it was just impossible to see everything in some of the later parts of the game. Now that BFG Edition is out, I can actually record everything. So one of the things you'll notice here is that we're our weapons in our hands and everything are a bit closer to the screen, and it looks like everything is zoomed in a little bit more. That's because they changed the field of view a little bit here. As you can see, I flipped the flashlight on. The flashlight is now mounted on our shoulder. It's an armor-mounted flashlight, and the angle of the flashlight is different, so the light is kind of in an awkward place. Takes a little bit of a while to get used to, but you'll get used to it eventually. It does help things in combat quite considerably, but some people debate about that a little bit. This area is also a lot different than in the original version as well, as you can see. Lots more detail here. There's a lot of segments of this that were cut out of the original Xbox version. But let me show you here as well. When you enter the area that has the elevator that takes you up to where the scientist is that's releasing the Hellgate, you just kind of walk right up to it in the original version. In BFG Edition, though, the way it was originally intended, there's a lot more to it, as I'll be demonstrating. But like I said, a lot of people say that the flashlight versus gun thing was done deliberately so that you could to add to the survival horror element of it all, because a typical design choice for survival horror games is to make the player feel helpless, and restrict their ability to fight back properly, which original Doom 3 did to a moderate effect. So as you can see here, we have to go outside by talking to this guy who will open the let us open the airlock and go out onto the Martian surface, which there are segments in the original Xbox version of Doom 3 where we did that, but not this early in the game. And I'm sure you know all about the whole pick up the oxygen canisters and all that other crap, so. Okay, so I paused the commentary real quick so I could go look up the PSN Doom Complete Classic collection, and apparently it is the full HD, or not HD, but the fully rendered graphics of the original game, same as the Xbox Live Arcade versions, that including Final Doom and Master Levels as well. So that's actually really nice. I'm definitely going to get that soon. But that makes me wonder, is that going to mean that they're going to release Final Doom and Master Levels as maybe a 400-point game on Xbox Live? Because there is no playable Xbox Live version of Final Doom, which I wish they would have included Final Doom on BFG Edition, but I understand the way they did it like they did. So. Here's the scene that I went ahead and swapped over to back to the Xbox version. That was a cool transition there where the graphics spontaneously downgraded when we went through the door.
I know. He built his cave.
We know. We've played the game before. But I figured I would show off this scene because it's one of the most iconic scenes of the game, of course. But that just seems kind of unfair to release that exclusively on the PS3, although that sounds a bit hypocritical of me to say when the Xbox had sole rights to any post-Doom 3 Doom franchise content until BFG Edition came out, so I suppose the PlayStation deserves something. They've never made any effort to make Doom exclusive to one console ever, even though it's primarily a PC game. Anyway, here, here's the BFG Edition version of the scene, which this really shows off the enhanced frame rates. I mean, and the fact that I have the brightness turned up too, because in the original version I couldn't even tell he was pointing his gun at the guy.
The devil is real. I know.
I love his constant look of disdain too. He's always pissed off. It's hilarious. Girl, I'm a silent protagonist.
Help us!
Yeah, the day that I got this game, which is the day after I made the id Software Collection video, I was showing everybody who was a big Doom 3 fan who I got to come over to my house, and we just had the volume blasting and all the lights off, and we were just like, we were all just like so immersed in the atmosphere. Like I could hear them like audibly gasping at certain scenes, like how much more improved they were. It was great. So now the rest of the video is going to be the most important part of the changes, which is the combat. As you saw there in that clip, one very important thing has been changed in BFG Edition, as I'm going to demonstrate now. As you can see, I'm trying to get a headshot on this guy with the pistol, and the aim assist is auto-centering me to his torso, which is really aggravating, and it will continue to be aggravating whenever we try to kill zombies with the pistol. Now, granted, location damage is not really an aspect of all the demons in this game, so it's not terribly crucial, but needless to say, the aim assist is really overzealous in this game. And it's some of the most aggravating aim assist in an Xbox game, really, because the original Xbox was fairly competent at doing FPS games. The Halo franchise and games like Republic Commando and this game, for instance, are great examples of that. So I don't understand why this game suffered so much because of something like that. I mean, the console is perfectly capable of good camera control. We didn't need this aim assist. When you turn the aim assist off and you try to hit them in the head, it doesn't really do any additional damage anyway, so there's no real headshots in this game at all. Another thing I'd like to show off is something completely random down here. This is where the shotgun is. You actually get the shotgun earlier in the original Xbox version than you do in the original PC version and the BFG Edition version. So the frame rates drop considerably during that fight down there. But we have the shotgun, and that's the way it sounds, that iconic popping sound that sounds kind of weird nowadays. But yeah, this is not in this location at all, as I'll be demonstrating in the BFG Edition. I didn't even know that this was here in the Xbox version. I just looked down there and was like, hey, you know what, there's a shotgun down there, and it ends up being the location that you get the shotgun later, so that's really weird. And if I could climb up the stupid ladder here. But yeah, the aim assist is really overzealous in this version, and the fact that I can't really explain how they changed it in the BFG edition, and I'll just demonstrate that when it comes up. Another thing that was in the original version is the way the button mapping is, which you can change to a certain extent. The nice thing about the button mapping in the original version is you could hotkey weapons to the D-pad, which was really nice, and you had a choice of which weapons you wanted on which directional button, which again was really nice, because you lack the ability to have a keyboard to hotkey weapons numerically in typical Doom manner. Now, in the BFG edition, though, you still have certain items hotkeyed to the D-pad, but you don't have a choice at all. It's fixed. Now, granted, it's not terribly crucial because I can cycle through the weapons pretty fast. I know roughly where they are. But another addition is that there's a zoom feature. I showed it briefly before we walked into the room where the guy unleashes the demons. There's a zoom feature in the original Xbox version of the game where you push an analog stick and you zoom in slightly, but they took that out of BFG Edition. There's no zoom feature whatsoever, and instead that stick is used to crouch, and the other stick is, instead of using to crouch, is used to sprint, leaving the left trigger to be used for sprinting, or not, no, the left trigger is used for toggling the flashlight, and B does nothing. Yeah. So here's our first encounter with the imp here. I'm going to show off his animations a little bit here, and then I'm going to kill him, of course. And that's about as far as I want to go, and I'm going to show everything over again on the BFG edition. But yeah, this change in control schemes has its trade-offs, because while I like how everything is set up on the BFG edition, it does get a little while to take used to, that you don't sprint with the, you don't hold the left trigger to sprint anymore, which made sense with the way the original Doom games control. And I figured if they're going to go and modernize the controls to make the right stick crouch, then why not make the left stick zoom? It doesn't make any sense. And also, I like the field of vision is moved in a little bit in BFG Edition, but again, I don't know why they deemed that really necessary. I think the zooming just eliminates a lot of, not having the zoom eliminates a bit of busy work there, and the perspective is overall better. So here's that little area I was talking about before, down there where the shotgun is, and if we jump down there this time, we're going to lose a lot of health for doing this, but I lose in a hurry. So there's just items here, that's it. There's no floor panel that drops down with a shotgun on and everything. That is an entirely separate area we're going to show off here in a few minutes. Well, there's health over here, so I can get back into good shape. But anyway, it is a little bit awkward to sprint with the left stick, though, because, of course, it makes sense in average game control things, the whole Call of Duty thing, or any other FPS games that sprint with that. But the fact of the matter is, you need to be able to hold the sprint and then sidestep to avoid a lot of the attacks in this game, which for some reason I thought that would become a major issue, and it's really not. Like, not sprinting while you're trying to sidestep to avoid attacks is actually not that big a deal in this game. You can avoid attacks pretty easily, and your overall agility and maneuverability is just highly improved, just because of the way the camera controls and everything. The controls in BFG Edition just make it a remarkably better game than the original, and at least the original Xbox version. So that's really what sells it for me. That's really what I think this is an amazing port. Sorry, my voice like totally cracked there. And the fact that it's well worth your money, because it's a major improvement over the original game. So here's the room I was talking about. Here's where you actually get a shotgun in the original version that is shared with BFG. I say original version, I mean the PC version. I've already explained the whole director's cut thing concept. For some reason, I'm having a hell of a time hitting this guy, but we have tons of ammo for the pistol, as we typically do, so. The sound effect for the pistol coming out has been changed. When you pull out the pistol, the sound effect is a little bit different. But the major improvement here, as you can see, is that the sound effect for the shotgun blast is vastly improved, and it sounds completely ridiculously awesome. Or completely ridiculously, I think that's proper grammar, but whatever. You get my point. It's amazing, and I love it. It's one of the best parts about this game is the satisfaction of the sound the shotgun makes. It's... just listen to that. I'm just going to show up so you can hear it. Like I said, I wish they would have done something with the B button. Not having it at all is really lame. Maybe they could have, again, I could have put zoom on the trigger and had you sprint with the analog sticks and crouch the analog sticks and have B be for the flashlight. I don't have a problem with B being for the flashlight. It doesn't hinder my control at all. And it's not something you need to frantically do in the middle of combat. You just hit it once and you're good. You just toggle it. Same thing with the PDA. I like that they added the activate thing on Y and put the PDA on the back button. That was a nice touch as well. But we're getting close to the end of the recording here. That's pretty much all I wanted to say about the changes from the original to the BFG edition. So now on with the LP of Lost Mission.